times roll. Come on, baby, let the good 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 times roll.
It's like Woodstock did it, brand new villain. Bob to the music, psychedelic visit. My heartbeat acoustic, moves like Hendrix. Spark to a fire, then a flame and kiss it. Go hard in my lane, both strikes in the blizzard. 10 million in the brain, gotta roll with the vision. Vision of a good time, all I wanna know when the party gon' start, let the good time roll. Come on, let's go. You got a lot of living, keep the body on the road. Ain't nothing like the feeling when you're winning in your soul. The wheel keeps spinning, only got one goal. Don't stop the show, can stop the flow. The real ain't ready, cause I rock the globe. So act like you know, act like you know, act like you know just what to do when the good time roll.
Love is nice when it's understood. Even nicer when it makes you feel good. You got me tripping while love is so. Come on, baby, let the good times roll. 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 Come on, baby, let the good times roll.
Rolling Stones, everybody came to get the taste of the bone. Ain't nobody stopping when you're bad to the bone.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to our first sales rally of 2023. I am live from snowy New Jersey and could not be more excited that we're gathered virtually across the entire country together. Today is about putting on our rally cap for 2023 to be the best year ever. But before we jump in, a few quick things. Number one, this is being recorded, so if you want to go back and watch any of today's rally, watch out for the recording a little later this week. Number two, today is all about high energy and celebrations. Please light up that chat throughout the rally, calling out things you want to celebrate and questions you may have, because we'll be answering them at the end of the rally. Let's get that chat going right now. Jump in and give us a hello and tell us where you're watching from. And number three, I heard about some awesome watch parties going on today. So whether you're with a group or on your own, if you have a picture to share, we want to see it. Please use the hashtag CB Sales Rally on social media. Today is all about you, the agent, and preparing you for your best year ever. So we brought in the very best. I am so excited to introduce our guest today, the Coldwell Banker Realty Executive Vice Presidents. Marie Gallo representing the Mid-Atlantic, Greg Macris representing the West, Mr. Greg Rand representing Central Region, and the one and only Kate Rossi representing the East. They're going to take you through how you're going to win in 2023. And what's a rally without a theme? The theme of today is PX4, planning, prospecting, professionalism, and presenting. You're going to hear best practices from them to implement your business. All right, first let's welcome my friend Marie Gallo to talk about business planning. Marie, you have the floor.
Thank you, Lindsay. Well, good morning, good afternoon, Team Blue. We are going to spend a little time today talking about building a solid business plan. Whether you already have your plan in place and are ready to fire on all cylinders in 2023, or if you are just getting started, my hope is for you to walk away with a small nugget in hand. Some would argue that you ought to focus in on the process versus the outcome. However, that outcome, or success as you could only define it, is a byproduct of that process. Planning is about developing your own playbook, holding yourself accountable, and owning the outcome for your business. So like any astute business leader, whether leading a Fortune 500 company or being an entrepreneur and leading your own business, natural part of managing your business is building a budget, creating targets, and devising the strategies to get you there. Developing a plan is necessary to maintain your current business while investing in the growth to get to your goals. That investment can be of time, money, or leveraging an opportunity, which we will go into more later. It's important to note your personal finances and perhaps your major life decisions are interwoven. Your goal is to drive to the financial outcomes that sustain and or improve both your business and your livelihood. So as a business leader, I am also a mother of 3 kids, and those 3 kids through my career were always my North Star. So think about that. What is your North Star? What are the things in life that motivate you to achieve greater outcomes? Our career successes can translate to achieving the personal objectives that are most fulfilling, whether it's your child's education, the ability to enjoy the things that make you happy, or the peace of mind of a comfortable retirement. The possibilities are endless, and the definition is yours to own. So let's talk about the elements of a business plan. First, let's review the things you need to cover. It's important to take stock of your business and what you're currently spending to help drive it. Professional development, consider licensing, MLS dues, board dues, training. Where are you spending your marketing dollars? Is it signage, print advertising, client gifts, Zillow? How about technology, software, equipment, photography, video? And general spend, travel, entertainment, auto, supplies. Factor those administrative costs for team members or for part-time help. And then assess your own personal expenses. What are the must-haves to support your lifestyle? What are the want-to-haves that you'd like to work towards? Next, let's talk about goal setting. Forecast for the results that you want to achieve, considering the expenses we just talked about and any additional business profits you're aiming for. So to get to your income goals, how much do you need to produce this year? Calculate your average commission per transaction. Take your average sales price and average commission rate per side. If you have team members, consider their split rate. To get to your baseline of the number of closings needed, take your financial goal for the year and divide by your average commission per transaction. So next, understand your conversion rates. How successful are you in converting appointments to active clients to pendings, and finally pendings to closings? What's the average number of appointments you need for every transaction you close? And then taking it a further step back, how much prospecting do you need to generate appointments? What does this translate to as far as time, investment, and resources? And by the way, CBU has a great income calculator tool and uses NAR average conversion rates if you don't know yours. So part of business planning is also revisiting prior year outcomes. It's a way to test your value proposition and restate your whys and hows. Is your value to your clients still the same, or has it changed in light of the market challenges? Has your business expanded in ways to meet the dynamics of different clientele? The methods you've employed in the past, do you need to approach your business differently? What are some of the variable factors versus predictable factors that impacted the outcome? And just remember, some things aren't always in your control, as we've seen in the wild swings in the market over the last 3 years. So aside from the financial aspects of planning, employ smart tactics as part of your business plan. There is a quote that can be aptly applied to both life and business. Do you want something you've never had? Then do something you've never done. I'm a firm believer that you may need to challenge your own status quo to produce a different result. If your business is stagnant or it's simply not where you want it to be, then employ different measures. Identify your lead sources, understand your conversion from opportunity to close, and adjust to what is needed to get to goal. Where do you spend your time? Tackle the activities that lead to results. In other words, ask yourself, what is the highest and best use of my time? Where do you focus to offer the highest conversion rates? What is proven to be the hallmark of your success? Is it your sphere? Is it FSBOs, open houses? Invest time in yourself. Fine-tune your skills around lead generation, listing presentations, buyer consultations, and negotiating. The market has changed, so flex accordingly and carve out time to brush up on these skills. Just remember, your clients want what they pay for, so be the expert in your market and be the skilled advisor when it comes to the real estate transaction. Leverage, leverage, leverage. It's all in front of you. Hone in on marketing. It's a business imperative to have a solid marketing plan, and I can't stress the amount of company assets at your disposal. The Dream Campaign, the Move Meter, the CB Estimate tool. You also have Moxie, Prospect Square, Marketing Center, Next Available, just to name a few. David, Lindsay, and their team of resources will not only point you to the beautiful assets at your disposal, but they are resources themselves. You have everything in front of you to be a serial marketer. Make your business easy, leveraging our in-house mortgage, title, insurance. No one is asking you to sell, but why not streamline the transaction and have the total home buying experience in the hands of your clients and within your control? So a few final words to wrap up here. Everything I'm talking about is part of the vast offering of tools and resources this company provides. There will be links sent out for those of you who want to learn more about business planning through our learning and development team, as well as Lindsay's video for the ultimate marketing plan for 2023. So, on a personal note, I joined Coldwell Banker a year ago, coming from another real estate company. And I can assure you that the CB offering is second to none. 100,000 plus agents strong, plus a vast team behind you. We're talking about over 2,000 employees just supporting CBR and another 6,000 plus employees supporting all of Anywhere's brands. I've said it, leverage it. Perform interim health checks for your business. Most companies live and die by the monthly profit and loss statements. Analyze your income and operating expenses each month to ensure you're on track. Be realistic when it comes to your goals. Know what you are capable of accomplishing. It's absolutely okay to hit that reset button. When the unexpected happens, whether it's life, a tough market, etc., it is okay to pivot and reforecast your projections. And when you hit those roadblocks, you can use a good kickstart. So lean on your peers. We have an amazing network, and I can guarantee you that every one of your peers can recall some sort of setback. And lastly, celebrate your wins. Every win counts as a milestone towards the outcome you are looking for. And with that, cheers, everyone. I will now turn it over to my esteemed and ever so wise colleague, Mr. Greg Macris.
Hey, thank you, Marie. I'm esteemed. Thank you very much. I didn't know that. So, hey, we're going to segue from planning to prospecting, and more specifically, we're going to zero in on sphere marketing. And National Association of Realtor tells us that 90% of buyers and sellers would like to use their past agent, but only 12% do. So we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Well, 85% say that it's because they don't know how to find their agent. So sphere marketing is a powerful business opportunity. It's underutilized in a lot of situations. So today we have someone, an agent with Coldwell Banker, who does a terrific job marketing her sphere. So I want to welcome LaDawn Sperling, and LaDawn is from our Denver West office. So LaDawn, welcome.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you.
This is exciting. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. So how long have you been a realtor?
For 9 years.
9 years, and all 9 years with Coldwell Banker, correct?
All 9 years with CB.
Okay, all in the same office?
Yes, Denver West is best. I've been there 9 years.
Denver West, Rich Scott's the manager, great guy, love Rich. So yes. How's your real estate career progressing?
I've done very well. I've been very pleased with my production and how it's progressed.
Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, what do you rank in your office?
I'm number 1 in my office.
Number 1 in your office. Congratulations. So now I'm going to get a little personal. How do you rank in the Colorado company?
Well, the numbers aren't out yet for 2022. I hope to be in the top 10, but I was number 3 for 2021.
Great. Congratulations. So clearly we should all take out our piece of paper and our pens and write down a few notes as we go through some information here and ask LaDawn some questions. So where do you get your business?
Most of my business comes from my sphere and people I know.
All right. That's good because that is our topic today. How much of your business comes from your sphere?
80% or more every year.
80%. So that's big. That's a lot. So I suppose you have a database, and I suppose you manage that database well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I do. I have around 1,000 in my database, but I have my database divided up into A+, A's, and B's are my top focus. And I really have 100 that are my A+ and A's that I really focus on. So A+ are people who have referred multiple deals to me. A's are people who have referred a deal to me or they've maybe completed a deal with me. B's are people who would refer me if showed how, or they're people who might use me as their agent, but they're not really the types who think about referring people. I'm kind of like my husband. If he saw someone at work who said they needed to sell their house, he would not think of saying my wife's a realtor. So he's a B.
So he's a B. Does he know he's a B?
He's very aware of the top 100 list and that he's not on it. Yes.
He is. Okay. All right. Well, maybe we can set up some special training for him.
I don't know if he's trainable on giving referrals. Yeah. I really don't.
All right.
It's been
Then
9 years and he hasn't given me one.
you focus on your other 100 and take care of those A's and A pluses. So you had mentioned that you do what you call pop buys. So tell us a little about that.
So pop buys are a small gift that I spend $5 to $7 on, and I deliver 30 of those every month. I pick out A pluses and A's who I maybe haven't spoken with for a while, and I drop off the gift at their home. Hopefully I get a chance to touch base with them and chat with them for a bit. This month I'm doing Girl Scout cookies. Last month I did reusable shopping bags, since in Colorado we now have to pay 10 cents a bag. So I try to give them something really useful or fun.
And pop buys are personal. Like you pop by in person. That's what you mean by
I do.
that,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I pop by in person, ring their doorbell. I'm not very good at making calls. For some reason, I feel like I'm bothering people when I make calls, but I'm perfectly okay with unexpectedly stopping by their house. I don't know.
Okay. So I'm guessing that an unexpected stop by is more effective than a phone call. But what about events? Do you do events?
I try to have a quarterly event for my clients, just a chance to touch base with them. And it's important with events to understand that it's not how many people you get at the event. What's important is how many people you spoke to tell them about the event that's coming up. So I maybe reach out to 50 people about a home buyer seminar I'm having, but I only have 5 show up, but I've touched 50 people, and that's the main thing.
Okay. So when you were brand new, I'm assuming some events, depending upon the event, will cost some money to put together. When you were a brand new agent and you didn't have a lot of money to spend, what did you do?
I utilized a lot of the events that my office or that CB Colorado were having. So Night at the Rockies or a Santa event at our office. And I really turned those events into my own. So my clients would feel like I was the one hosting the event.
Okay, that's smart. Good job. So let's go back to the events when you make the phone call. So you said that I think what you said was the phone call to let people know about the event is more important than the event itself.
Yes.
Tell me how that works.
Because I'm making personal contact and they feel good that I invited them to an event that I thought that they may be interested in. Whether it's a social event or an event that's more of an education event.
And we all know, I mean, I think there's a statistic like 7 to 9% of people are interested in selling or buying a home at any given time, or at least talking about real estate. When you make these phone calls, when you do the pop buys, how many times do you ask them if they want to sell their house?
Never. I never ask them if they want to sell their house. I do ask them, a lot of times they bring up real estate. I don't even have to do it. So they bring it up. They ask me how the market is. And it's just seeing me makes them think of real estate.
Okay. I think you've come up with some terrific points here. I hope people have jotted down some notes. If you were going to give people, if an agent's sitting there saying, I don't do as good a job as I want to do with my personal fear, what are the 3 things you tell them to do starting today?
I would tell them to categorize their database, to develop a plan, and do what you enjoy. Because if you enjoy doing it, then it'll get done.
Okay. Hey, LaDon, thank you very much for your time. LaDon Sperling, our Denver West office and our Coldwell Banker Colorado company. So I am going to turn it back to our wonderfully talented National Vice President of Field Marketing, Lindsay Listanski.
Thank you, Greg and LaDon. I've been taking notes. We're already halfway through the show. Marie, I loved what you said about challenging your status quo. I think that's super important. LaDon, I did giggle when you said you put your husband in the B box. I thought that was very interesting. And I think learning about pop buys being over calls, especially when Girl Scout cookies, sounds like a great idea. All right, so like I said, we're halfway through our rally. Before we keep going, we have a very special video and marketing overview from our one and only Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. David Marine.
Hello everyone, I'm David Marine and welcome to your Marketing Minute. Let's put 60 seconds on the clock and away we go. Last year's Dream campaign is back in 23 as Coldwell Banker continues to boast the most effective advertising in the industry for over a decade.
Wow.
Customizable versions of the ad return, but what's brand new are embeddable widgets of the Move Meter and CB Estimate to put on your own personal and Moxie websites. Coming in March, these widgets will keep sellers on your site while getting them engaged with the power of our revolutionary Move Meter and CB Estimate.
I love it!
Moving to media, Coldwell Banker will be advertising across Hulu, YouTube, social, and more, but we'll add a new venue to the mix by partnering with a relatively small and unknown venture called Amazon, as our ads will be running across Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime starting this fall. This channel is more affluent, more targeted at home sellers, a larger audience than we previously had with ads running August through December. In other news, the new Marketing Center gives you more customizability of social assets. The Global Luxury Program continues to dominate, selling $288 million in luxury sales every single day, and a rebooted coldbanker.com is coming in Q2. That does it for me. We'll have details on all of this and more in the weeks ahead. Back to you, Lindsay.
That was a lot of awesomeness in 60 seconds. Thank you, David. All right, the floor is yours, Mr. Greg Rand.
Thank you, Lindsay. Hey, everybody. All right, so I've got professionalism in 7 minutes. See if I can pull this off. I always want to start when I speak to an audience of agents in Coldwell Banker with the fact that I grew up in this business, and it's been now a 30-plus year pursuit and passion of mine. And I feel like I understand why what you do is so important, and I understand it very well. And it all ties back to the idea that people, your customers, are going through a consequential point in their life. A lot of times, most of the time, I think it's happy and aspirational, sometimes not so much. But they're perfectly fine until they're going through this move. And you, by virtue of deciding to insert yourself in that as your career, every day you're helping people get past anxiety, right? And you're absorbing a lot of that anxiety. And one of the things I've always said that a great real estate company does for a great real estate agent is help absorb some of that, dissipate some of that from you by creating an environment where you've got colleagues that kind of feel like a real estate family to you. But the role that you play in their life, and the role that you play in the life of your customer, and the role that you play in the greater economy is really important, and we see evidence of that all around us. You think a few years ago when COVID struck, and we discovered that mobility, people that were in the middle of moving or wanting to make a move, that this was a super inconvenient time to be stuck, or to feel like you might be stuck in between, and it was scary. And there were some professions that really stepped up, and you did in a very big way, and the whole world saw it. In fact, I love that during that process, it became evident to the world, and the whole world admitted that, like, doctors, nurses, liquor store clerks, and real estate agents are the four key players in the economy that had to figure out how to do your job, even though you couldn't do your job the way you used to. And that is such a dimension of professionalism, that adapting, recognizing that what you do is important, and then finding a way to adapt when the circumstances require it, so that the people that you're trying to serve, they can count on you. And I think that was an amazing, amazing thing. When people talk about professionalism, when you're in the business as long as I have been supporting real estate agents, you make a study, like you recognize patterns, right? And great, high producing, long-term success stories in real estate, there's a lot of ways of getting there. But there's one thing that every agent I've ever spent any time with, and there's been a lot of them over the years from a lot of places, you're always really good at your job, right? In some of the more fundamental ways, it's like simple things like turnaround time, returning calls, simple stuff like that, being on time, speed and accuracy in your communications, controlling the transactions so that you navigate around possible pitfalls. But there's something else, and it kind of tracks back to that whole the stressful nature of what we do. And that is, in times like we're in today, what the world really needs is smart, great, confident real estate agents. Because when the market is great, the media is going to find reasons to talk it down, right? I mean, a couple of years ago, when prices were appreciating 1.5% a month, the articles talked about how affordability is down, right? So we can't win. People who own real estate are doing great, but they turn around and find an aggrieved party who's the person who doesn't own a home yet, and they have to pay more. So affordability is down. There's good news there, but they find the bad news. And I think it presents an amazing opportunity for you to shine and to elevate yourselves in the eyes of your customers by being a voice of reason at a time when there's unreasonable negativity swirling around this business. Okay. And there is right now. I think it was Simon Sinek who said, the guy who wrote Find Your Why. I think he said, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. I think that's it. People don't remember what you said to them, they remember how you made them feel. And you're in the business of making people feel better when they're not feeling so confident, when they're feeling nervous. You know, my kids spent 8 years living in this house, sleeping in these bedrooms, and now we're moving because I want a nicer kitchen. Am I a bad father, right? My daughter's best friend lives next door. Am I breaking up the friendship of a lifetime by moving 5 miles away because I want a pool? Am I being selfish? Like, all that stuff goes through their head. You know this. But I want to show you a technique that is available to you right now that I personally have done. It led me in my past life to getting 100 TV appearances, writing a book, getting a radio show, because I was taking on the negativity in a way that was credible. The public wants to be confident in the value of their home. They want to be confident in the stability of their community. And when the media decides to do an all-out onslaught on our market, well, then being a voice of reason, being optimistic, but being incredibly optimistic, right? Being able to back it up. It's actually very, very easy, and it gives you an ability to elevate yourself, maybe in the minds of your people in your sphere and in your community, because of how you make them feel. Okay. So Joe, can you throw up those slides? And I just want to give you a really, really simple technique that you can try on your own. First, go do a search of housing market news. And if you want to be cute about it, do a search of housing market plummets, because that's what they always seem to want to write about. And the second thing, when you find these articles, is you're going to see immediately in the headlines the superlative, right? The exaggeration, the thing that the analysts and the writers and editors did to try to turn this statistic into something catastrophic sounding. And this is what came out this week. Housing market downturn wipes $2.3 trillion in value. Okay. As experts predict, prices could tumble, right? So wipes and tumble and meltdown and all this stuff. This drives me crazy, by the way. But when you find the article and you find the superlative, crazy, blown up claim, read the article, and you won't get 2 paragraphs in before the truth actually comes out. And that's what's highlighted here. Though home prices are up 1.5% over the past year. What they did here is they compared June to December, and prices between June to December are frequently down because of seasonality. They happen to be down a decent amount because of how the fourth quarter went last year. But actually in the report is prices are up. Okay, this is really, really common. It's actually the exception to the rule that you can't find this. The other one I just found, luxury home sales plummet. There's that word, plummet. 38%, biggest decline on record, driven by inflation, recession fears. Okay, read the article. Home price growth slowed across the board. So what slowed was how fast the houses were appreciating. They're talking about home sales plummeting, and then talking about deeper in the article. So my point is this. You go find these articles, your customers are seeing them. You can post the article. You can add the truth to the article. You can take that down, Joe, if you want. Add the truth to the article. Give your customers something to feel confident about, where they can then see, whether this is a barbecue conversation or a social media post. Try this, okay? You'll see people comment on it. You'll see people appreciate it. You'll be educating the public, and you'll change the way they feel, which is what they remember, okay? I hope that you like that. I hope that was helpful. I'm done. I love you guys. Stay tough. Okay. It's going to be a great spring. Now it's time to bring on the incomparable Kate Rossi.
Hi, everyone. Oh, it's so exciting. I wish I could see all your faces, but here's my piece of the presentation. It's all about the presentation. But what I want to tell you is, in the 40 years I've been doing this business, this is a great market. It is not a bad market. We've got to, what I've learned so far today is no stinking thinking, have confidence in yourself, know your product, and do it. Go back to basics. I think right now, be prepared. When you're doing a presentation, you have to know what's on the market, what isn't on the market, what has sold, what has expired. You have to have the knowledge. You also should be using the Coldwell Banker tools. I'm not here to try to sell you anything. What I'm saying to you is, if you're going on a presentation and winging it, that's not going to work. It might have worked in the past, but it doesn't work today. I've had some top agents say to me, I've lost a couple listings lately. I ask them, do you use Listing Concierge? No, I have my own marketing piece. Have you tried Moxie? No, I don't want to. I've heard that's complicated and I don't want to do that. Guys, you've got to revamp your presentation. It's the biggest investment most people will ever have in a lifetime, and we can't wing it. The thing about Moxie that I think is really brilliant, and yeah, there's some challenges. I hear that. But at the end of the day, here's the greatest thing about Moxie. Have you ever gone on a presentation and you use a couple comparables? And the seller goes, yes, but what about so-and-so? Why didn't you use 429 Wells Way as a comparable? My home is exactly like that. And if you don't have Moxie or your computer there where you could pull up that data and that information, you're stymied. But with Moxie, you just type that little address in, whether it's a for sale by owner or whatever, it pops up and it'll show you why you didn't use that as a comparable. And you say to the seller, the reason I didn't use this, Mr. Seller, is it has 5 bedrooms, you have 1. It has 12 bathrooms, you have none. So when you have the power of a presentation, when you have something at your fingertips that you can overcome an objection, the seller will listen to you. The other thing is we need inventory. If you talk to anybody right now that's doing open houses that has a great listing, they're getting multiple people through. People are just coming, so there are buyers out there. The difference is right now we need inventory. So what I would suggest to you is the biggest challenge for any seller is where will I go? I don't know where I'd sell my home, but I don't know where to go. Do a little information. Be prepared when you do the presentation. Look up some temporary housing. Look up some rentals, short-term rentals, long-term rentals. They could put their stuff in storage, but be prepared when the seller says, where can I go? Well, I happen to have a list of places that you could go. For a short-term inconvenience, Mr. Seller, for a long-term net gain, would you be interested in putting your home on the market? The other thing you want to really keep focused on, in my opinion, would be know your pricing. Know the pricing. I used to say, if they don't want to listen to your price, walk away. I taught that for many years. But right now, who could price these things? I just talked to the top agent in Connecticut yesterday, #1 agent, and she said to me, Kate, I'm getting multiples and the pricing is still going up. Now, maybe in your market that's not happening, but in my region it sure is. We need inventory. And if the seller knows where they could go, then you will overcome that objection. The other thing that's my big bugaboo, and I'm going to tell you this, is hold on to your commission. Do not give the store away. When somebody says, would you do it for less? Just say no. I'm going to get you those buttons like Nancy Reagan. Just say no, because you should get what you're worth. I used to say, I charge 3.5. What do you want to pay the selling broker? They'll say, what's fair? You say 3.5. And if they don't fall off their seat on a 7, you might get 6.5 instead of 7. But at the end of the day, don't give your money away. A seller needs a strong negotiator today. So if you're easy giving your money away, you will do the same with their money. Knowledge is power. I've said that over and over again. Prospect, present, and pricing. If you know how to prospect and get the listing, 1 appointment a day, 5 days a week, your presentation gets better than anyone out there. If you have no formal presentation, then use Listing Concierge, because on the back of it is a whole outlining of marketing. Make sure you're sending that out on Just Listed and Just Sold on every one of your listings, because that will lead to more transactions. Real Vitalize is another tool that I think you ought to use on a presentation, whether it needs something done to the property or not. Everything needs staging, something. Bring it up. Tell them you have it, because that is based on the commission. So depending on the property, just say you need a new kitchen. Would you like? I am willing to invest part of my commission into your property by giving you this, and at the time of closing, it comes out of the closing. You could go as high as 8, 9, 10, depending on what the commission that you charge. That will help you solidify your commissions. You know what? Don't be afraid either. When you're doing the presentation, know your business. Ask them, are you talking to anyone else out there? Because know your competitors and what they have to offer. I have to laugh when an agent tells me they're being recruited. As I'm sure everybody on here has gotten one of those letters at any given time. use that as part of your presentation. Just go when you say, are you talking to anyone else, Mr. Seller? They say, oh yeah, we're talking to so-and-so and so-and-so. Just whip out those letters and say, look, you don't have to talk to them. They tell me I'm the best in the industry and they'd like me over at their company. So there's no sense in you interviewing anyone over there because they're telling me I'm the best. Use every tool possible to win the listing. Last but not least, you kids move America. Right now, we have got to call past customers, our sphere of influence, and talk to everybody out there. Tell them for a short-term inconvenience, for a long-term net gain, would you be willing to put your home on the market? I guarantee you, you will change someone's life by helping them make more money than they ever thought possible. But right now is the time to start shaking those bushes and move America. Now back to you, Miss Lindsay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kate. That was awesome. Does anybody else wish they could just take Kate around with them to every listing appointment? I love what she said about use every tool, defending your value. I love that Greg Ram was talking about optimism with the backup. The side piece to that, whether you're in person or online, what he was talking about is so great for wherever you're having conversations. So awesome job, Kate and Greg. Thank you so much. Before we get to Q&A, I want to share something really exciting from field marketing. I'm going to use the word game changer. And I'm going to say that with confidence. We have just launched a new technology product called Next Available Appointment. Have to give credit where credit is due. Randy Bragdon out of the West dreamed this up. His team helped to pilot it in the West, and we have scaled this nationally. This is designed to give you marketing support right when you need it, giving you access not just to the amazing field marketers that you're used to in your metros, but over 100 from all over the country. Now, you're still going to have access to those people for in-person appointments, but we are giving you now virtual accessibility to all of our entire team across the entire country. So with nextavailableappointment.com, you can now sign in from anywhere and schedule a 20-minute marketing consultation for over a dozen of our marketing needs, and that list is continuing to grow. This is really going to drastically improve your speed to accessing support when you need it most. We launched this about 2 months ago. We've already seen nearly 2,000 appointments, and we're seeing a 97% success rate. So if you haven't checked it out, I really encourage you to do that. We're kind of likening it to Teladoc. So if you have that sore throat, you need something really quick, you call in, you get that prescription. If you have a quick marketing need, you can use Next Available to jump on a virtual call with one of us, and we can help you out. If you need that full-blown, physical like you would do at the doctor, you need a full-blown marketing plan. Like I said, you still have access to your awesome Metro marketing team in person. All right, so if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Now I am going to hand this off to our Director of Corporate Communications, Kristen Cockrum. Are you on the line to facilitate Q&A, Kristen?
I am. Thank you, Lindsay and everyone. Awesome. We are now on to our Q&A. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. We'll get to the few that we have. First one is for you, Kate. Kate, someone recently posted in the chat asking about Ryan Gorman. He's gone. Do we have a new CEO? Do you want to address that, Kate Rossi?
Yes. Sue Yannicone is right now handling both the brand and the Coldwell Banker company store side. And Ryan, by the way, I do chat with him, and he's loving what he's doing, kids. So just so you know, he's very happy. His passion is helping people that can't, the poorer people, the HUDs and that sort of thing. He's just, I think he's our new Gandhi. I really do. He's an amazing child, and he's doing an awesome job. But they're still in the process of deciding who they're going to choose for that position. And I'm sure Sue and Ryan Schneider will make that decision soon.
Thanks, Kate. Next couple of questions is for Lindsay. Couple of follow-up questions about Next Available. So how do people access Next Available, and what kind of questions can you ask in Next Available?
Sure. So really easy, nextavailableappointment.com. You can go in and you can schedule an appointment. You're going to see a list of about different marketing options. So everything from Moxie to Prospect Square. You can go and go through that list, and then you can make an appointment. Once you go in, you're going to pick the time and date you want to meet. It's going to pull the availability of the entire field marketing team. You can get access to an appointment in as little as usually 3 hours. If you are on the East Coast or the middle of the country, you have the benefit of having some of the support from the California team, so you can get later appointments in the evening. And then once you do that, you're going to book your appointment. It's going to send you a calendar invite. If you give us your cell phone, it's going to send you a text notification, and then you're all set to go. So like I said, we haven't really been loud about announcing it. This is really the first time we're telling everybody all at once. So if you haven't heard about it, don't worry about it, but really easy to use. And we've been seeing some excellent results. So I'm glad we got the question. Definitely go there and check it out and get an appointment. 20 minutes, really quick.
Perfect. Next question is for Greg Macris. It's related to prospecting. What prospecting techniques are working?
What prospecting techniques are working? Well, I think we just heard from LaDawn what works. I think sometimes we overcomplicate prospecting, and sometimes we force ourselves to do things that we don't enjoy doing. And if you don't enjoy doing something, then you're just not going to do it often enough and consistently. So if I listen to what LaDawn said, she wasn't prospecting 2,000 people. She picked 100 people. She graded them as being A's or A pluses, and that's what she focuses on. And I think that's really important, not to overcomplicate it. Like, some people stay at 0 because they think they've got to go to 2,000. Just start with 25 of your best past clients or people that you know that you think would refer you if a real estate conversation came up and someone needed real estate services. Secondly, when she said it's not the event, it's the conversation before the event, I think that's huge. It's reaching out and touching. It's the pop buys, right? If you stop by, ring the doorbell, hand off a box of Girl Scout cookies, have a short conversation. Nothing can replace that. There's no ads, there's no mailers, there's nothing that can replace the pop by. And then lastly, I did ask her, I said, how many times you asked them and I purposely asked this because I think I knew the answer, how many times did you ask them to sell their home? Well, she didn't, because if people need help buying or selling a home, they're going to tell you. Have a warm conversation, a warm contact, talk to them about everything else. If they need your services, they will let you know.
And follow-up question for you, Greg Macris. What's the first step in prospecting? Say you're a new agent. What's your advice?
Database. To figure out who are those A's and A pluses, get them on your database, and then manage your database well. And if you don't get to that point, I mean, that is the first step before you can really, I mean, you can go out and start doing pop buys, but if you can't even keep track of who you're popping by with, it's a little bit hard to follow up, right? So I think the database is the most critical. Make that decision who your A's and B's are.
Thank you. Next question's for Greg Rand. This is related to what you were talking about. Someone asked, how do you stay positive in a real estate market that is, it's a changing market and not as active as it once was?
Take a longer term view, right? And look at history. So anytime we see a downturn, it's a cycle that comes back. I feel like right now, for example, the hardest part's behind us. And that feels pretty good, right? To know that we've weathered a storm. Winter is over, literally and figuratively. And so that's what I always go to, is that I have seen enough markets come and go. And we're talking about houses in America. You know, that's why I have that map back there reminding me that that's what we sell, right? It's the best product ever conceived on planet Earth, that you can actually own a piece of that for your lifetime and hand it down to your kids and grandkids. And so that's the business we're in. That's the product we sell. And I just have unshakable faith, and history has proven me right every time. So I'm never too worried for too long.
Thank you. And I want to address a couple of people have asked questions about specific products, such as someone just asked about Boost and Home Spotter. Please, I want to refer you to Desk. Use the Help Center on Desk as a resource for you for those specific products. I do want to end today with doing a round robin in and get final thoughts from each of the executive vice presidents. What are your parting thoughts on what agents need to do in 2023 to keep the fire going? Marie, we'll start with you.
Sure. I would say find ways to differentiate yourself, find ways to challenge yourself. Obviously scale to the needs of your clients. The client demographic is changing pretty rapidly. And we've spent many, many years talking about millennials, but Gen Z is right here, and they are, at that home buying stage. Obviously leverage what's in front of you. I feel strongly that there's no need to recreate the wheel. We've got a really, really we've got great tools and resources across everything that we do. And we have such a huge network. And, it would be great if people leveraged what we had more.
All right, we'll go down the line. How about you, Greg Macris?
Yeah, I would say, first off, if you don't know about Listing Concierge, I would learn about it, and I would practice using it in a presentation, because you're going to have it and no one else at any other company will have it. And getting back to what Kate Rossi said earlier, once you are confident in your presentation, you want to prospect because you're not afraid of the appointment, right? So sometimes I remember when I was selling in the very beginning, I wasn't confident with my listing presentation. So I wasn't like overly aggressive trying to get a listing appointment because, God knows I might have to go deliver that presentation that I'm not real pleased with. So learn the presentation, practice it in front of the mirror, get it down pat, and then discipline yourself to find someone like LaDawn who has a system that works. Don't feel like you have to do everything they're doing tomorrow morning. Cut it down to just do 15 or 20% of what they're doing, and you'll start seeing results. And once you start seeing those results, you'll want to go all the way and do everything that they're doing.
Thank you. How about Greg Rand?
Spend more time together. I think the thing that truly makes this company exceptional and better than every other company in the business is the people. And I think I personally discovered the watch party over the last few years, and I think it's a really, really powerful thing. I hope Lindsay's right. I hope there are a lot of watch parties out there that are participating today. But draw strength from each other, right? This is a game of mindset and morale, and you can give each other the gift of the positive feelings and the morale that'll keep you going just by getting in there and spending time together.
Thank you.
Okay,
And Kate, how about your parting thoughts?
My parting thoughts is get an appointment a day, 5 days a week. When you wake up in the morning, you have to ask yourself, do I have an appointment? If I do, go on it. If you don't, get one. Beat last year. If you had 10 listings last year, can you get 11 this year? If you had no listings last year, can you get one? One listing leads to 3 transactions. So I would suggest everybody just get one appointment a day, 5 days a week, and the rest will be history. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you all. Until LaDawn. Lindsay, you want to take us home?
Absolutely. So Greg Rand just talked about spending time together. I will tell you there is no better place to spend time for Coldwell Banker than the Gem Blue experience. We're back October 16th to the 19th in Atlanta, Georgia. So excited. This will be my 12th year with Coldwell Banker. It is the best event of the year. There's absolutely nothing like it. So registration's opening soon. Hold those dates on your calendar. I hope everyone had a really good time today. I have 2 little boys, Jacob and Zach, home today on our snow day, celebrating their 3rd birthday. So I'm going to keep this party going. Wishing you all your best year ever.